Get it loud, clear.
All day, all night.
Power 95, where music lives. The views expressed in the following program aren't necessarily those of Power 95. Ladies' Room. Come see you compliments. Renwick Thompson and Company Limited. Agents for Western Union.
2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6.
Education multiplies their chances and places the world of opportunity in their hands. No matter where they are in the world, make sure they're prepared for their journey back to school with Western Union. School fees, books, room and board, whatever the reason. Knowledge, independence, opportunity. Western Union, moving money for better.
Went by the name.
Buenos dias, amigos. Amigos. Good morning, everybody. Buenos noches, buenos tardes, because I'm not sure where you're all at, part of the world you're at. Nevertheless, welcome. Hope everybody's doing okay. And like I said earlier on, did a little wellness check this morning, and so many people responded, you know. And it's amazing what that simple question can do. You might not think much of it, but that can sometimes make a person's day. Just asking, how are you? If you're okay. You know? Let's get in the habit of checking on people. You know? Because like the song says, one of my favorite songs, I've been drinking the past 5 days. Did you check on me? You know? Did you notice me? There are a lot of people who feel isolated. They feel neglected. There are people who think they do all the check-in. You got family. You got loved ones. It takes a minute or less to check in and see if they're okay. Yeah? They might need something. You may not be able to help or provide them with what they need, but maybe you could direct them, you know? Just tell them where to go. You never know, you can make a difference. Because, boy, I don't know if it's just social media or the internet, but one can't help but notice that since, you know, the internet became a part of our lives, how much more disconnected it made us. You know, because before the Facebook and the TikTok and the IG and the Twitter and all of that, when you wanted to talk to somebody, you literally had to pick up the phone and call. Before the WhatsApp and all of that, you had to pick up the phone or go see the person, go check on them physically. So as much as, you know, all these social media things are, you know, good, there's advantages to having it. There's also a lot of disadvantages because it made us so disconnected. And I remember one time it really clicked how disconnected we are, because my niece with me in the same house, and normally when you're in the house you would call out to Jill, Jane, Jack, whoever, come do this, come catch them, look for this, come whatever. You find yourself on the phone texting, and that person is like literally right there, texting them in the house. And I'm sure a lot of you do that. In the same house, texting them or calling them, and not physically getting up and going and attend to your business. And sometimes it makes you feel kind of sad because people have lost that personal touch, you know, that intimate sort of connection, because we're so invested in our phones, we're so invested in social media, what's happening out there, and not so much what's happening in the lives of people next to us, but we're more invested in what's happening in sometimes strangers, celebrities, artists, what have you. You spend more time being concerned about them or being all up in their business than that of those around you. So as much as, like I said, there's advantages to, the smartphones and all of that, it can't help but, make you feel like, wow. Because it's not going to get better, because every day there's a new app, there's a new something that further widens the disconnect. You go out on a date with somebody and the person is more down on their phone than interested in having, a conversation with you. And it's really sad. You'll be out trying to talk to a person, get to know a person, but they're more invested in what's on their phone. Like they can't even spare 2 minutes to just have a conversation without checking their phones constantly. So how do you develop bonds? How do you create great friendships? How do you make that connection with a person when you're more invested in your phone than in the person? You're more interested in your phone than in the person. So how do you make relationships work when there are so many distractions? We're so absorbed in, social media and all of that. So you got to set boundaries. There are points you got to be like, you know what? That is why my phone, it's always on silent. Because always, I realized at one point my phone literally controlled my life, because every minute you get that notification, you're checking. So now if I don't hear the notification, I don't have to respond. So I put it on silent, so it's when I decide to check, I'll see messages and respond accordingly. My phone is always on silent because I realized it literally was like every minute you want to know first thing. So I made it's almost a point now for the new year. Before you even open your eyes good, you're like, before your eyes even open, the first thing you do is grab your phone and start looking and scrolling through Facebook to see what you missed. You already spent half of the night on Facebook. You probably catch a couple hours sleep because you're up all night scrolling and listening videos and YouTubing and all of that. You missed about 2 or 3 hours, and then you jump back on the phone first thing in the morning to check. So I realized it really kept me back. Like, I'm there trying to catch up, and I'm like, so I made it a point that I'm not going to be on my phone. First thing I probably do when I do get it, just post my ladies' room for the day, put it down, get ready, leave the house. After that, catch up 1 or 2 people that you check in with early. That's it. But this picking up phone first thing as your eyes open, you even say thank you Lord for a new day. First thing you do is pick up the phone. The phone has become a lot of people's Bible. First thing they pick up as soon as their eyes open. So we got to learn somehow to discipline ourselves and not get so caught up in it that it's almost managed. It's almost like it's controlling our lives, or every move you have to check with the phone first. And we pay so much more attention to the phone, the people in the phone, than the people that are actually around us. You're in people's messenger, people inbox, all hours of the morning, 2, 3 in the morning, asking me what's up. What could possibly be up after 2, 3 in the morning? Tell me. Talk to me. What could possibly be up? I'm not a security guard. I don't work night shift. My working hours, basically. What could possibly be up? That is so important. And after 2 and 3, 1 midnight, 1, 2, 3 in the morning, you have the testicular fortitude as a young man and as an older man and as whatever man to text somebody to ask them what's up. And then y'all complain, I like to block people, blah, blah, blah. But these things, just like, my tolerance level for it is like, because if I were to tell you about yourself and what you should be doing with WhatsApp at that hour of the morning, you'll kind of call me disrespectful. Why are you messaging somebody 2 and 3 in the morning? You ain't had nothing to do? Go read a book. What's up? When people do that, they actually think you're gonna respond. Like, people actually respond to people texting them at that time of the morning, and not even family, like people, like random people. It's not an emergency. You don't require me to take you to the hospital, to the doctor, no nothing, but you want to know what's up. I don't get it. But hey, I always have to give my little pep talk. So, morning Larry, morning Shantae, Linda, morning. Debbie Crony Latouche, I thank you. Yeah, I know that's what you like. Come off my phone. Morning Val, Wendy, everybody good morning. Terrence, morning. Are you all good? Right. Oh, who's missing? Morning Della Rita. Morning Brands. Brands, you have me dying. Thank you so much, Brands. Listen, there's a local thing that I'm using on my face. I can't talk about it on air, but I'm gonna post it on my page because it's they're paying for advertisement. But what I'm telling you, it works wonders on your skin. Listen, local, you know, it is amazing. Anyways, move it. So wait, we getting bright in Grenada now. What is this I'm hearing about? Reports of people getting shot. Hello? Wherever y'all pick that up from, drop it off, please, and thanks. Where y'all you come out with that? I ain't get the full gist of the story, but I got a couple videos and reports circulating of people walking up to people and, hey, cut it out. Where y'all come out? So when people stop pelt stone and stand up and fight man to man, we graduate to and not hiding and moving brisk. RGPF, Minister of National Security, Mr. PM. Let me get comfortable with that, please and thanks. We're not about to do that. We're not about to be added to the news like St. Lucia and Trinidad and Jamaica and all those places where you hear of shooting every single day. St. Lucia, it's like a madhouse right now. I'm not sure how many of you are following that story, but we've had our own members of the regional security team having to go over there to see if they can sort those folks out there, because it seems the police there can't do it by themselves. Broad daylight, bodies lying on the ground. Hello? That's not us. We're not about to do that. That's not our speed at all. And that's why they always say when your neighbor's house is on fire, wet yours. You're not about to do that. You know, cut it out immediately. Immediate effect. We're not about to do that. Yeah? I heard a bit of it. He mentioned something about guns. I'm gonna see if I can listen to it. I just listened to it in passing, but wherever y'all get that idea from, we ain't about to be no wild, wild west out here. Alright? I thank you. Alright. Moving on now to the gist of the matter. It's like it's like some of y'all big but the sense missing. Like some of y'all are dollars but you don't have no sense. Because listen to this story. Miss Lady says that you guys aren't sharing the live. People are saying they're not getting the notification. Guys, remember when you go on the live, there's 3 dots. Click the dots and you'll see turn on notification. But for some strange reason, Mark keeps turning it off. I don't know why. So you always have to go back and turn it on. When you don't see the notification pop up in your feed, check the 3 lines, the 3 dots. Not lines, the 3 dots, 3 or 4 dots. And they'll give you some options, one of which is to turn on notification, live notification. So as soon as we go live, you will see it. Because a lot of people have been telling me they're missing half of the things. Sometimes they're busy, and when they really catch themselves, they realize they're missing out on the live. All right, so sort out yourselves. So this person says, so it's time I bring my business to the room. So I'm with this guy. He's 9 years young. No, that's not the one I'm looking for. Oh, reach there. Yeah. So this person says, my boyfriend has a friend who says, oh my gosh, my little sis is about to leave the shores. So she says, my boyfriend has a friend who he says is like a sister. I've always gotten a bit of a weird vibe from her I couldn't quite place, the feeling that she maybe didn't like me. Her boyfriend broke up with her in November, and since then it seems like their friendship has escalated a lot. They hang out one-on-one most weeks, and when this girl and her boyfriend broke up, he was the first call in the middle of the night and immediately drove over to her house to comfort her for 3 to 4 hours. Last night, my boyfriend had her and 2 other friends over. She apparently drank too much and stayed the night at his house. I was asleep at my own place, so I didn't know she stayed over until the next day. Apparently, the girl found out I would have been uncomfortable with her staying over and told him I was trying to control him, steal him away from his friends, and that he needed to communicate his real feelings to me. Real feelings. I'm just getting a weird vibe from the whole situation, and I was pretty hurt that someone I don't know very well said all those things about me to him. And it also felt as though he somewhat agrees with her and says maybe he's just been blind to it since he's in the relationship and not an outsider looking in. I'm extremely confused because I'm not really clingy. I am really independent and don't usually reach out to him first or try to control him in any way I can think of. I feel like she's getting in his head in some weird type of way, or that if he has had a problem, he should have addressed it with me directly instead of trashing me to her. What do you make of all this? I'm really emotionally rattled today. Mrs. Either you have a whole house or you playing Dolly House. In 2023, we're not about this Dolly House kind of relationship. We're not about getting into relationships where there are no boundaries. Shireen, my little sister, you're too fast. It's about boundaries. And it's either we can do those and we leave the people big head son alone, or we leave the people's girl children alone. Let's decide what we're doing. At some point you have to get up and take responsibility of your life. A relationship should not make you cower, should not make you docile, should not make you mute, should not make you, you should still have your voice. And there's nothing more beautiful than having a relationship where you have a voice. You can speak of your feelings, what you think about certain things, how you feel about certain things. Any relationship that sort of dumbs you down and makes you cower out of fear or out of not wanting to hurt the person's feelings is not somewhere you need to. We need to seriously get serious about our lives and the time that we give to people in it. This Dolly House thing, at some point we have to stop playing with little dolls. When you were a little girl, they gave you dolls to play with. You dress them up, you put the next little tin foot one together, then you have the male one. And listen. But first, good morning.
Good morning.
Oi, hey, where you come out?
Girl, I just touched down.
You up in your fly out tower?
Girl, I had to go and take a break. Oh God, too much Arona, too much. That why I had to travel.
Boy, you need to take care of your mental health. You have to leave the shows. You have to do what you got to do.
Arona, too much.
You have to.
I just touched down.
All right.
I just called to say morning.
Morning. All right. I was wondering where you were. All right, great. I was wondering where you were. I'm like, where? I'm not hearing you.
I just take a break from all the nonsense.
All right.
Don't worry.
So you're recharged and you're good to go.
Have a nice day.
All right, bless.
Good.
Yeah. Didn't hear from him in a minute. I was wondering. Well, happy to know that you're okay. Yeah, so it's either y'all want to play Dolly House with your relationships or you want to get serious about it and stop making people take you and play the fool. At some point, we had to grow up. We have to be responsible for ourselves. We can't just keep on placing the responsibility on other people to be responsible for our happiness, and you're just there, taking your debt like a sheep, and you're complaining and you're complaining. We have to get serious about our own happiness. It's just like people. It's like no, we just letting people do what they want, to run up and down, run in with life, run out. Listen, who's that girl? Is that Aries? I'm not going down that road today. I was threatened enough yesterday by the Aries, who I thought were calm, nice people. But I forgot that their symbol is the ram, and rams are usually very docile until they're provoked. And next minute you see ram coming with two big horns to boot you. So leave the people ram alone. Moving on. So why women have this thing called intuition. We feel things before it actually happens. And whenever you get that vibe, a lot of the times it is spot on. And most times if we learn to listen to our intuition, we could spare ourselves a lot of heartbreak, a lot of heartache, a lot of stress, a lot of things. If we only tuned into our intuition and learn to listen, you know that vibe. You're a woman, you know when something is off. I don't have a problem with my significant other having a friend of a different sex, female friend. I don't have a problem with it. What I have a problem with is boundaries. You're no longer by yourself. We are in a relationship. And your friends, female, male, whatever, they need to understand boundaries. And that is where you come in. I don't have to tell you that, to tell them anything. If you really check about somebody, you check for somebody, you ought to know certain things you don't condone. And this friend sleeping over, I don't even trust myself. I ain't trust you. I don't, call me petty, call me insecure, call me whatever. There's no way friends sleeping over by your man. They could be friend for a million years. I care zero. What? So you in your house sleeping, homegirl over there sleeping by she friend. You find out after the fact the man didn't even have the courtesy to inform you of such before it happened, and homegirl now is making it seem as though you trying to control man. And we just give people too much roller skate, you know. And so before you know it, they're starting to break dance in your life. And salsa and all kind of thing in your life. And here's the part that really stood out for me. They hang out one-on-one most weeks. Miss, you sure you're not in the people relationship? Because there's no way my man will be hanging out one-on-one most weekends with another female. So when do you fit in the picture? So when do you hang out? Because I'm assuming throughout the week y'all work. Most people hang out on the weekend. So if most, not once in a while, you said most weeks they hang out one-on-one. And when homegirl and she boyfriend broke up, she called you and you drove in the middle of the night to comfort her for 3 to 4 hours. In the middle of the night, eh? You ain't even say, you know what? Listen, so and so going on in Jane. You want to come along with me to go make sure she's okay? He leave you home to go comfort Sister Jane for 3 to 4 hours. Who am I to tell y'all anything? He's probably studying to be a priest. You never know. So he probably went there to offer just that comfort. Who am I to tell y'all anything about y'all relationships? So she boyfriend and the other friend and them. And the worst part is when they have a little clique. And they make all the plans and they don't include you. So the boyfriend have 2 other friends plus you. So, miss, that is why I'm asking. Are you sure that you're actually the woman in the relationship? Or you're not in the people relationship? So he had a little get together with her and 2 other friends. And you in your place. And you found out after the fact. What you doing in the people relationship, like, really? And the fact that he's discussing you with her. Yeah? Homegirl found out that you would have been uncomfortable with her staying. Who woman feeling comfortable with another female sleeping in your man's place? Who? Unless it's his sister. Who? woman will be I don't care how secure you are as a woman. Your self-esteem could be high as Mount Everest. There's no woman that comfortable with the idea that a friend sleeping in your man place. Call it, I care zero. You can call it insecurity. You can call it low self-esteem. Call it what you want. There's no woman, unless you're Mother Teresa and you're very trusting. When they was giving her trust, you was first in line. You take everything and leave a little bit for us. So a lot of us aren't that trusting. So for you that have all the trust, carry on. So Mr. Lady find out that you was uncomfortable with her staying over. And instead of being understanding as another woman, saying, you know what, you probably have a point. I might feel a type of way too if my man, and that happened. Instead, telling your man that you trying to control him and steal him away from his friends. And that he needed to communicate his real feeling. What is his real feelings? His real feeling is that he and the friend together? Or he didn't really feel like that about her? What does she mean by he needs to communicate his real feelings to her? What does she mean by that? How are you stealing a grown man from his friend? You're in a relationship with a woman. You would think you know to manage your time. If you're now in a relationship, you can't be doing the same things with your friends like you were single. You're in a relationship. Nobody says you can't hang with your friends. I'm not your perspiration. I don't have to be under your arm everywhere you go. And I don't ever want to be in a relationship that every time a man step out, you have to be there. I want to be able to step out with my friends, do my own little thing. You can do your own little thing. But we understand and, respect each other's space and boundaries, certain things you don't do. So according to you, you're not really clingy. You don't really reach out to him first or try to control him in any way. But her putting that in his head, that is a whole different kettle of fish. So if you're sitting there getting a weird feeling from the whole situation, your man discussing you with his friend, and you feeling that he somewhat agrees with her, and you're asking what to make out of all of this. Sheena said, ladies, at a certain age, when you meet a man with females as besties, leave that man alone. Don't invite trouble in your life. They say there's a shop that in grandmother used to say to trust is to boss. I ain't talking groceries alone. We're talking feelings as well. To trust is to boss. So basically, the shop owner was saying, if he trusts out all the goods, the business go bust and he go have to close down shop. So, right now, to trust is the boss. Let me hear what Brenda says. Brenda says there are people you have to leave alone. She won't win. He's immature and does not feel strong enough about her to establish the boundaries. He needs to step away from that there. These people ain't going to wean off the baby formula anytime soon. Spare yourself further heartache. My sentiment exactly. His immaturity is right in his head. Plus homegirl in his head, because it's convincing him that the girlfriend is trying to control him, as if her reasons aren't valid enough. Who is comfortable with the man having a non-family member of the opposite sex sleeping in their house and you're not there? You can't be that trusting. And the part that really, really, really has my antennas up is where she said that the friend said that he needed to communicate his real feelings to the girlfriend. What real feelings are we talking about? What did he say to this friend that he's not saying to the girlfriend, that making the friend act in a particular way? It must be something that she knows. She knows something that you obviously don't know. So what you should be doing is asking the friend, what is it he needs to communicate to you? What real feelings he needs to communicate to you? But that is not, Jackie said, what partner will eating your friend food. There's not, I mean, sometimes you meet somebody with friends, right? And like the person becomes your friend as well. Y'all hang out together. And it's never a case of them being alone. You get so comfortable with them that you're the one sometimes to pick up the phone and say, hey, me and John going so and so, you wanna roll with us, or whatever the case might be. You have her number, she has your number, you all, touch base ever so often, although that's his friend. There are situations like that. But in this instance, homegirl doesn't seem to be keen on being your friend, because it seems as though you're excluded from everything that she's a part of. Hanging out every weekend, hang out by home with other friends, and you're not included, no invitation while you're in your bed. Homegirl in your man place with other friends, sit down maybe playing Monopoly and Truth or Dare and all kind of thing, and you lying in your bed not knowing what's going on. You have every reason to be concerned, especially when the friend is acting that way. At no point in time the friend even reached out to say, hey, don't worry about it, there's nothing going on here, it's been cool, I'm not interested in you. Instead, she's adding to the fire. She pushing more things to blaze the fire, telling the man about you trying to control him, and you. Miss, I have a strong feeling, could be wrong, but it's like you are in the people relationship. You're the third wheel. Does not feel like you're in control of your situation. And I never get it. I have little respect to any man that would sit and discuss you with his friends, his female friends especially. Sometimes, you just, a particular something might happen, right? And maybe you just need another opinion. So you probably have a very good friend, and you'll be like, me and Tom had a falling out on this, and this was my what do you think? What's your take on it? Was I wrong? Was I, how do you feel about it? You get a little, so you could get it, and there are people you can do that with. There's no vested interest in, and they're not interested in you. They're not interested in your partner. They just want, like they're a middleman. They just want the best for you, literally. They just want. They're your friends, so you can reach out to them. Sometimes you do something you're not too clear on and you want some feedback, and you can reach out to them, because at the end of the day, whatever you say to the person and they say to you, it remains there. There's nothing wrong with that, because sometimes you don't have all the answers, and you just might want a third party to get their opinion on that, but you can't do that with any and anybody. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm sure we all have that one person that you can sometimes vent to, but it's not like you talk about your partner in a bad way, or you try to bring them down, or you just discuss a particular incident or something that happened. You just want feedback on it. You don't just go, Tom this and that, and Tom business small, and Tom business long, and Tom business this, that, or the other. You don't go sharing intimate details. You just dwell on a particular situation that you want advice on how to proceed. Because you're practically at a stalemate with your partner. You arguing about something. You think he thinks he's right. He thinks he's right. You think you're right, and you're not making any headway. And sometimes you just need, somebody to advise you. But that is completely different. That is completely different when the person is deliberately trying to undermine you and talk bad about you to your partner. So she's out of a relationship. First person she called is your man. Man go over, spend 3 to 4 hours. She and man hanging out every weekend. She's sleeping over by man. He and man and friend hanging. Come on, man. She doesn't say men just play dance. If play dance is the operative word, don't let them fool you though. That is what they've been using. That is what they've been using to get one up on us. They're not dunce, they're not stupid. And they know very well what they're doing. So don't fall for this, they know what they're doing, and they just get caught up in the moment. No. They're very aware. They're very aware of what they're doing. So I'm no longer fooled, but by this, I don't know, man, don't know what they know very well what they want. That is just a get out of jail card to pretend that they don't know. But they're fully aware. So act accordingly. So like I said, y'all are supposed to be adults. If you want to play dolly house at whatever age you are, by all means continue. If you want to be outside looking into the people's relationship, by all means continue. But I would suggest, based on his lack of maturity, that you have a conversation with him. Yeah? Expressing your concerns about this relationship with this friend and hear what his response will be. If he's prepared to make adjustments, if he's prepared to create boundaries, or if he's going to stick to the, oh, that's my friend and I know her before you and you can't tell me what to do with my friend, I ain't giving up my friend. And then you can decide where exactly you fit into this equation. If you want to stay and be a third wheel and be complaining and stressed, that is totally on you. But I would suggest that you have a conversation with him, let him know how you feel, how this friendship is making you feel, that you're uncomfortable with it, and depending on his response, you can act accordingly. That is basically my take on it. Let's see if I can touch a couple of responses before we go. Hold on. Someone here says, watch out. You're either going to find out he cheated on you with her or he's going to leave you for her. He's just making excuses for what he's doing and using the friend's name. They've been doing the nasty, and because you're not the clingy type, it has been easy for him. Have a conversation and spare yourself the heartache. Respect yourself enough to excuse yourself from that relationship and drama that's about to happen. If you're in love with him, it won't be easy, but find the strength and move on. So you see, donkey in your cane was a person. Some of all, you should just give back all your parents the money they wasted and all you, because it's fast totishness. Someone wants to know, did you relate all that to him? Does he know how you feel about the whole situation? You need to speak to him, and if he doesn't change certain things, then you know what time it is and what you need to do. Another person says the man is asking you for space to cheat in peace and explore the situation with his friend. You cannot force anyone to love and respect you, but you can love and respect yourself. His behavior is inappropriate. And this last one says, you have every right to be rattled. She's trying to undermine your relationship and he's allowing her to do it. Have a conversation with him. If you see him gaslighting you during the conversation and failing to see your point, calling you jealous, etc., I think that should be the point that you understand where you stand. Y'all know what to do after that conversation. You'll know what to do. So we can all play these foolish games. Get yourself a male best friend and make him feel how you feel sometimes. The only way to make someone understand how you feel is for them to wear the shoe. I ain't got time or energy for that, I swear to God. The way my energy set up. Someone says she met her there and wanted to change the dynamics after. That was a flag she ignored. When they break up, it's the same friend that will be there for her. Besides, all women have man and stand by. Let us see your messages. What are you even talking about? Why Samuel would not be... Samuel, why you have to be like that? She wants to move people around like furniture. Who is next? His mother. Samuel, you see this big head boy? Even though I meet you with your friend, doesn't mean I have to condone the way you operate with your friend. And you have to understand that as a man. Is either you're prepared to stay with your friend or you want to stay in your relationship. But you can't have your cake and eat it. There has to be boundaries. We can't just be everything lap and cut all over the place. No. There has to be some sort of boundaries. So if you want to, your friendship is that important to you, then I wish you and your little friend all the best. But there has to be some boundaries. You can't continue to do the same thing as if you were single while you're in a relationship. Like I said, what they song here? To trust is to boss. You continue trusting and I'll continue not. Alright? Until then, it's a wrap. We shall reconvene 11 a.m. in the forenoon tomorrow. Thank you so much to our friends at Western Union. for making this show possible. Again, thanks so much for everyone in the room. No, he's not a gay friend. Thanks to everyone in the room and, of course, listening online and viewing. We'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place for another show. All right? Thanks so much, guys. Have a good Wednesday.